One at the Coinbase State of Crypto Summit. I'm delighted to speak to some of the greatest visionaries and pioneers in the fields of tech and finance who are working to build a future powered by crypto. Many have called me the first crypto president. That's an honor. I really do consider that a very big honor, actually. And starting on day one, we ended the Biden administration's war on crypto. It was an absolute war and very unfair. And we unleashed American innovators to do what you do best, lead the world into new frontiers. We ended Operation Choke Point 2.0. I created the first presidential working group on digital assets. I named a pro-freedom, pro-innovation SEC chair, a great man named Paul Atkins, and we created the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and the United States Digital Asset Stockpile. But we are not done yet. My administration is working with Congress to pass the Genius Act, supporting the creation of dollar-backed stablecoins. And we also will be working to create clear and simple market frameworks that will allow America to dominate the future of crypto and Bitcoin. Congratulations to everyone at this exciting time in your industry and in our country's life. I wish you all the best of luck.
So what do you say to people who say, well, it's a Ponzi scheme because every time Bitcoin goes up, you issue more equity and debt to buy more Bitcoin. It just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, just like developers in Manhattan, every time Manhattan real estate goes up in value, they issue more debt to develop more real estate. That's why your buildings are so tall in New York City. It's been going on for 350 years. I would call it an economy.
That he and the administration knew about Israel's plans to attack Iran before they happened. He also called the attacks very successful, said that he had spoken with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday, and Netanyahu's office now says the two men do plan to speak again today. All of those comments coming after the president earlier this morning posted that he had given Iran chance after chance to make a deal, but that they just couldn't get it done. He says Iran now has perhaps a second chance, warning them to make a deal now, he says, before there is nothing left. So standing very closely aligned with Israel here, even after the White House first emphasized overnight that Israel was acting unilaterally and that the U.S. was not involved in these initial attacks. Iran clearly seeing no daylight between the U.S. and Israel, saying that the attack would not have been possible without U.S. coordination and that the U.S. should be responsible then for the consequences of its action. So as a result, the U.S. now bracing for retaliation in the region while warning Iran against it. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying that Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel. And on Capitol Hill, hearing similarly, House Speaker Mike Johnson saying this morning that Israel was clearly within its right to defend itself and that, quote, Iran will face grave consequences if it responds by unjustifiably targeting U.S. interests.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And just giving you a heads up, my videos are going to be sporadic this weekend. You know, the kids are out, and then also it's Father's Day weekend. I just wanted to give you a heads up, but we have Trump right now in the land of chaos. Remember, guys, it's order out of chaos. And he talks about digital assets, the Genius Act, and we know he's bringing in the robots, algorithms, and drones. Trump and the Trump family is pushing this new digital economy for the banks and the big corporations. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And Michael Saylor as this Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme. And we know Bitcoin was used to bring in this fourth industrial revolution. 2008, we got the banking crisis, and everybody wanted to get rid of the banks. So what did the banks do? Bring in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is supposed to get rid of the banks, and guess what? Now the big banks have taken over Bitcoin and crypto. You can't make this stuff up. Genius, but evil genius. And then we have Trump says he knew about the drums of beating. And don't forget, guys, today is Friday the 13th. And where does it come from? It was 13 guests sitting at that table with Yeshua. And of course, he was betrayed on a Friday. And right now, we see the Judas at work. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have the militaries across the globe is transforming their military. Remember, Germany did like $600 billion to update their systems. And basically, they're bringing in the robots, algorithms, and drones. Starlink, driverless cars. Remember, war will no longer be physical. It's going to be cyber, and that's the dangerous part because we know who's really behind it. And we know for a fact we never can trust this technology. You get into a driverless car, and you just happen to drive off the road. Now is nobody to blame. And the only thing they're going to do is sue the company. We know insurance companies have that sitting in the bank. And remember, the crypto teacher tells you. And with all this chaos, you got the drums are beating, you have the protests inside the United States, which we know are nothing but tests. Because we know when it comes to the National Guard, something has to be really, really bad in order to bring in a National Guard. This is all a test for something much bigger. But we definitely know the plan. And unfortunately, the sheep are going to fall for it. They'll be sitting in the house, getting this free money, traveling the world from the couch inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher tells you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Last year, as a result of the Hamas attack on Israel, Israel shifted its defense doctrine and also was able to take out Hezbollah, which was a major missile threat from the north, and also a proxy of Iran, and also to strip a lot of Iran's air defense systems in an attack in October. So he felt that this was a time, and also with Trump in the White House, that he could get it done. He said in a speech this evening that he planned it as of last November. I note that would be after Trump was elected. This is when they thought they could get it done.
Army rings in its 250th birthday this weekend. A seismic shift is underway for how the service operates, how it buys weapons, and how it prepares for the future of war. I recently traveled with the Army's top military official to Fort Johnson in the Joint Readiness Training Center's Box. It's a massive combat training site in the Louisiana wilderness to see how that shift is taking shape. In western Louisiana, this Transformation and Contact Brigade is training for the battlefield. An all-new military unit, this TIC, the 1st Brigade of the 101st Airborne Division, is one of just 4.
What makes this one unique is the scale. We have done parts and pieces of this for every TIC brigade. We've learned, we've evolved, the technology's improved, and we're trying to maintain pace with that.
America's oldest military service is embarking on its biggest restructuring in a generation, the Army Transformation Initiative. The move is spearheaded by the Army's top civilian, Secretary Dan Driscoll, and its top military official, 4-star General Randy George, Chief of Staff.
We know our formations want to move faster, and we are trying to get the whole system, to move much more rapidly. And so, a big part of that is stop buying the things that we know are not going to be as effective on the battlefield so that we can infuse our formations with the things that really will be effective.
This is the Army's most modern brigade, with almost 400 drones, autonomous vehicles, and an AI-enabled network. Drones made by Skydio and Shield AI, Starlink-enabled internet connections, a General Motors infantry squad vehicle retrofitted to drive autonomously thanks to Silicon Valley startup Applied Intuition. And all of these companies, almost none of them traditional defense contractors, have engineers embedded with the 2,000 soldiers.
By having some engineers on site, we were able to discover that wasn't some crazy electromagnetic issue. It was actually an issue in the settings where the drone was set on low power. So instead of going through weeks of trying to understand how that happened, within 24 hours, we'd solved the problem.
40 new technologies, 10 different companies, and a mission of continuous transformation.
Nobody's still using the VCR. We don't need to continue to buy a VCR just because somebody sells it. We need to have the latest technology that's on the battlefield.
using a technology-driven defense and procurement strategy, with automated systems, with autonomous European satellite surveillance, with armed drones, and with many modern defense systems. This is now the paradigm shift in defense policy that lies ahead of us.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.